there are some words that need to be removed from your vocabulary immediately. Not next week, not when you get yourself together, immediately. Because some of us are not just being delayed by our habits. We are being delayed by the words we talk. And the crazy part is, a lot of these words sound normal. They sound harmless. They sound casual. But if you keep repeating them long enough, they can shape how you think, how you move, and what you expect from your life. So in this video, I'm going to give you 7 words you need to stop feeding if you want to grow, succeed, and become who God created you to be. And trust me, at least one of these words has probably been living in your vocabulary rent-free. So let's get into it. The first word is, you guessed it, can't. Now, let's start here because this one has held a lot of people hostage. Too many people say, I can't, when they really mean is, I'm scared, I'm uncomfortable, I don't know how yet, or my personal favorite, I would prefer not to risk looking foolish. That is not the same thing. Because every time you say, I can't, you shut the conversation down before growth even gets invited in. You're closing the door before you even touch the handle. And let's be honest, sometimes I can't is fear wearing a name tag that says logic. That's all it is. So instead of saying, I can't, let's change it up. Say, I'm learning how. Or, I can't do this yet, but I'm growing. Because can't kills movement. Second word is later. Ooh, now this word looks innocent, but it has stolen a lot of momentum. I'll do it later. I'll start later. I'll be consistent later. I'll take it serious later. Later has delayed more progress than lack of talent ever did. Because later turns into tomorrow, tomorrow turns into next week, and next week somehow turns into, I can't believe it's already August. That's how it goes. Sometimes later is not strategy. It's procrastination and church clothes. It looks respectable. It looks responsible, but it's still delay. It's still delay. And some people are not stuck because they lack ability. They're stuck because they keep postponing the movement that requires action. Instead of saying later, we're going to switch it up. And I want you to say, let me take one step now. Not 10 steps, not a whole plan, one step. Because one messy step now is more powerful than a perfect plan you keep pushing into next month. The fourth word is lucky. Now, I know people say that this casually. I hear I hear me say it sometimes. Sometimes we look at somebody else's progress and say they got lucky. Oh, they're just lucky. That happens because of luck. And sometimes I want to say, or they kept showing up while other people kept hesitating. Because a lot of what people call luck is actually consistency, courage, discipline, preparation, and obedience. Now, yes, favor is real. Blessings are real. Open doors are real. But be careful not to reduce somebody's process to luck just because you did not see the years behind the result. And be careful saying that about yourself too. Because if success is always random in your mind, then you never fully take responsibility for your preparation. So instead of saying they got lucky or I got lucky, I want you to switch around. I want you to say, what can I learn from their process? That question will be more for your future than sitting around hoping life picks your name out the hat. The third word, impossible. Some people label things impossible way too fast. You looked at the idea for 7 seconds, got a little intimidated, and now suddenly it's impossible. You did not pray about it. You did not research it. You didn't ask any questions. You barely stretched first. Now, yes, some things are hard. Some things are big. Some things are beyond your current level. But hard and impossible are not the same thing. Sometimes what feels impossible is just unfamiliar. Sometimes it is difficult, and sometimes it's going to require a version of you that has not fully developed yet. That does not mean it cannot happen. The danger of saying impossible too quickly is that it trains your mind to stop looking for options. And once your mind stops searching, your effort usually follows. So instead of saying this is impossible, we're going to say this is going to require growth. Or this is bigger than me right now, but I can grow into it. See, that kind of language keeps your faith awake. The fifth word is fail. Now, this one needs balance. I'm not saying failure is fake. I'm not saying too many people use the word fail like it's final. Like it is the end of the movie. Credits rolling, music playing, everybody going home. You tried something and it didn't work. Okay. You posted the video and it flopped. You launched and it was quiet. You tried the plan and had to pivot. That is frustrating, yes, but it does not automatically mean that your story is over. And sometimes failure is feedback. It is information. It is exposure. It is learning what you did not work so you can move smarter next time. The real danger is not always failure. The real danger is turning one bad outcome into your identity. So instead of saying, I failed, let's say I learned something. Or that didn't work, but I'm not done. Because one outcome is not the final word of your future. The sixth word, stuck. Now, sometimes people say, I'm stuck. And what they really mean is, I'm overwhelmed, I'm tired, I'm scared, I need clarity, I do not know what step to take next. Or sometimes, very honestly, I know what I need to do. I just don't feel like doing the hard part. And listen, I say this with love because stuck can become very comfortable label. Once you label yourself stuck, you stop looking for movement. You stop expecting answers. You stop believing that there's another way forward. But even if you feel stuck, you're not powerless. You may need rest. You may need support. You may need prayer. You may need structure. You may even need a new strategy. But you do not need to keep speaking over yourself like there is no path forward. Instead of saying, I'm stuck, let's say, I need clarity for my next step. Or I need a better strategy. That language puts motion back in the room. The seventh word is just. This word quietly shrinks people all the time. I'm just trying. I'm just a small business. I'm just starting out. I'm just a creator. I'm just doing what I can. Now, humility is one thing, but minimizing yourself, that's another thing. A lot of people use just because they are trying to make themselves feel smaller, safer, less exposed. But every time you say just, you can unintentionally reduce the weight of what you're building, what you survived, what you're learning, and who you're becoming. Some of y'all say just so much, it sounds like you're apologizing for existing. And we're not doing that. You're not just building, you're building. You are not just growing, you're growing. And you're not just starting, you're starting, and that matters. So instead of saying, I'm just trying, I want you to say, I'm committed to growing. Instead of saying, it's just a small brand, I want you to say, I'm building something meaningful. Do not talk down on what God trusted you to carry. So before we close, let me say this clearly. This is not about becoming fake positive. This is not about pretending life is easy. And this is definitely not about acting like saying better words means you'll never have to do the work. You still need discipline. You still need action. You still need consistency. But your words matter more than people realize, because what becomes normal in your mouth can become normal in your life. So let's recap the 7 words. Can't, later, impossible, lucky, fail, stuck, and just. If these words keep showing up in your language, they can quietly shape your mindset in the wrong direction. They can keep you thinking smaller, waiting longer, hesitating more, and shrinking what God placed inside of you. But when you start changing your language, you start changing how you think. And when you change how you think, you change how you move. So, yes, some of these words need to go. They need to be thanked for their time and escorted to the exit immediately. So, here's what I want you to do. Comment the 1 word you know that you need to remove from your vocabulary. Not your cousin's vocabulary, not your friends, yours. And if you're serious about growing, building, and becoming, subscribe to Dress to Encourage for more content rooted in faith, purpose, encouragement, and growth. And remember, greatness is in all of us. Love you guys. God bless.